We have a panel before us that we are going to get into momentarily. They're going to give some background information about Line 9, but this session is also about thinking about strategies in terms of moving forward and strategies that come to us from the West Coast as well. So each speaker will talk for about 15 minutes. We're going to hopefully, if possible, get a chance for question and answer. I don't know if that's going to be feasible, but we shall see. And did you want to start off? Okay.
First, I'd like to welcome Wes Elliott. Wes Elliott is member of the Haudenosaunee Men's Fire from Six Nations of the Grand River, and a member of the Haudenosaunee negotiating team that was in talks with the Canadian state and the province of Ontario. He's a strong Native rights activist in support of Native rights. Please help us welcome Wes Elliott. Thank you.
Okay, one of the things that I want to talk about here, really fast here, is I want to make you laugh a little bit. For those of you who watch what you eat, here's the final word on nutrition and health, and it's a relief to know the truth after all those conflicting medical studies. The Japanese eat very little fat and suffer fewer heart attacks than the Canadians, British, or Americans. The Mexicans eat a lot of fat and also suffer fewer heart attacks than the Canadians, British, or Americans. The Chinese drink very little red wine and suffer fewer heart attacks than the Canadians, British, or Americans. The Italians drink excessive amounts of red wine and also suffer fewer heart attacks than the Canadians, British, or Americans.
Apparently the French and France.
The Germans drink a lot of beer and eat lots of sausages and fats and suffer fewer heart attacks than the Canadians, British, or Americans. The Ukrainians drink a lot of vodka, eat a lot of pierogies, cabbage roll, and suffer fewer heart attacks than the Canadians, British, or Americans. Conclusion, eat and drink what you like. Speaking English is apparently what kills you. I brought a laugh to you. Now I need to make a very poignant point clear. We are not Indigenous people. We are not Aboriginal people. We are not First Nation people. There are people that refer to us as Aboriginal, First Nations, but we are not. Okay? First step in education. First step is learn to identify who you are talking to. If you want to talk about us, use a neutral term, we're Native. Or if you want to use the correct term, use Haudenosaunee. That would describe all nations, all Native nations. Haudenosaunee. Can you say that? Haudenosaunee? Haudenosaunee. One more time. Haudenosaunee. One more time. Haudenosaunee. Now I expect none of you to use First Nations, Aboriginal, or any of those other terms that are used to describe us, okay? Because you have been taught right now the proper terminology. We are not. And if you're describing a particular nation, describe them by whatever nation they are. If you're describing Six Nations, we're Haudenosaunee. If you're describing an Anishinaabe, describe them as that, okay? Do not use those terms. Get those terms out of your mind. That's the first step in education. And now you've been taught that. The second thing, or third thing I want to talk about real fast, since I only got a few minutes, is I have here a very simple formula for peace. Now this is another hint. Whenever you hear people say, oh, it's complicated. Oh, that's complicated. It's complicated. Okay? That's your first clue that they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
When we sat at the negotiation table for 4 years, Aaron and I, we heard complicated all the time. It never came from our side of the table, it came from their side of the table. It's complicated, it's complicated. That's the first telltale sign that you know they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So that's an inside clue. Another thing is, very simple. This is what I refer to as a formula for peace. And it's very simple. It's built like a house. Treaties are the foundation of that house. Treaties are the foundation. Treaties supersede legislation. It has been proven in Ontario that treaties supersede provincial legislation. It has not been proven yet that treaties supersede federal legislation. We need to have that done. We need to have that in courts where our treaties supersede federal legislation. Do you understand the meaning of that? That means that omnibus bills can be defeated. That means a lot of things can be done. Treaties are the foundation. Okay? Yes. Now the subfloor. The subfloor is healing. We all have hurts. We need to start the process of healing. Our people, your people, we have to start that process of healing, and that's the subfloor. The floor of the house is respect. We need to have a respect between our people and your people. There needs to be respect. The walls of the house, education. You cannot build a house without your walls, and you can't build it without education. 75, maybe 80% of you do not understand who we are as Haudenosaunee people. Okay? You don't understand that you're all treaty people. We are all treaty people. Okay? So education is vital. Education. Now the roof of the house is friendship. After you've done all of this, the friendship is there. Now this house, okay, all of that leads to peace, and that house sits on Mother Earth, which is love. It's a very simple formula for peace. Simplicity, nothing complicated. So that's all I want to say in my opening remarks. Yummy.